Is it going?
Oh, you both of them?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Live video. There you go. Alright. I'm trying to see if I can refresh this real quick. Oh, there it is. Don't see it on there.
Can you see everything on your end?
Yeah. Cool. Kind of fun. Kind of fun. Yeah, I don't see it on my thing here. So, oh no, there it is. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Cool.
There we are.
There we are. We are up, right? Let me see if I can get it blown up in a full size screen, or how does that work? Oh, there it is. I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there thinking, it's easy, man. There it is. Cool. It's kind of delayed a little bit,
Yeah.
but not bad. And then I think the comments and stuff is here, so
Yeah.
cool.
There you go.
Sorry, we're running a little late. Oh, it's 5:30. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I want to say hi to all my family and friends out there. For those of you that are probably checking this video out, don't even know who I am. My name's Fernando Alonso. I'm sitting here with my good friend Joe Yniguez. Mr. Joe Yniguez works in the financial industry. When I first met him, me and my wife actually met him. We were clients of his. We at that time, me and my wife got married. We knew we needed to get something in place as far as like a supplemental retirement as well as family protection. So my wife, being the researcher that she is, she researched all these different companies, and she found Joe here. And Joe came in and helped us put us in a better financial position for our future. So again, welcome everyone, Joe Yniguez.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joe. Actually, good friends with Fernando. Just wanted to come hang out with him today. And in fact, many moons ago, and actually before I even go into that, he mentioned Rosalie being a researcher. Mind you, she had every question in the book that she could ask. And then when we finally finished our first meeting, she kind of came back and had more questions. And then the second meeting, more questions. Third meeting, more questions, which only built confidence, and she was excited about what we did, how we were able to help her. And then little did I know I was going to meet this guy, which was probably like, what, 6, 7, 8 months later? 6, 7, 8, 9, right? But,
Sorry, we got a little issue here. Go for it.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
While again.
Cool.
Alrighty, hopefully, well, we can start from there if you'd like. We'll just start now. But either or, had a great time meeting Fernando and Rosalie, and everything made a lot of sense when we started meeting each other, because you know when you meet somebody, you start to either get along with them or something kind of is different. I found out Fernando likes beer, he's a man of integrity, works really hard, really cares about his wife and his family and the direction he's going. Just starting a new one. Okay. So we'll be back once.
We're having a little technical. This is our first live feed. So there it is. Oh,
Perfect. Alrighty. So now that we're actually fully live, which is awesome. There you go, Rosalie. Meeting Fernando for the first time was awesome. I'm gonna tell you, meet people for the first time and get a value, get an idea of how much they can add to your life. Because mind you, a lot of us tend to hang out with people that are not adding too much value, so we kind of figured that out. And you know, Fernando and I were kind of talking about just some basic ideas, and he says, why don't we just go live and just talk to the world about what we do and how we do it. At the same time, kind of give you an in-depth idea to what we do. Actually, not even in-depth, just have a conversation. But if you guys find any value, that's awesome. We'll be continuing to try to do these little small events every once in a while, but at the end of the day, just have a good time.
cool.
Are we good?
We're good. Yeah. Yeah. Like he said, man. I don't know. I know for me, when Rosalie first told me that we needed to find someone to help us out and to start putting money away and everything, I don't know if you find this with a lot of clients of yours. It's almost like it's a taboo to talk about money. I know for me, it was almost like she would tell me, I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll put it off. And finally, I was like really uncomfortable to actually go to someone to talk about putting away for my future. Man, I don't know. Is that something you see a lot?
Every day. It's funny because you speak to people and you think about it, we learn things from school. We get value from certain things. Yeah. We watch TV. Now, the great thing about what we do now is everything's on YouTube. There's a Google for everything. But again, it can be good and bad, right? There's a lot of information. There's over information sometimes.
Yeah.
But talking to someone that you can one trust, get to know, and then you can trust their background and what they've done for other people, it just makes it so much better, especially if you see results for yourself. Before you study someone's roots, you study their fruit. Before you study the fruits, you study the roots, right?
Yeah.
So to speak. But most people, I would say generally in Ventura County in America, don't really get a financial education that they need or deserve. For example, learning how taxes works. All right, it's one of those most important things you should be knowing how to work. Because mind you, it doesn't matter how much you save; it's how much you keep.
Yeah.
So if we think about it, everybody has 401ks, IRAs, just different investments. At the end of the year, we got to think about this. With everything happening today, as far as all this stimulus package, this COVID package, unemployment package, taxes is going to have to come either sooner or later. And most 401k strategies is considered later when you start touching them, right? So do you think taxes going down the same or going up in the next 10, 15, 20 years?
The way everything's going with the government spending right now, I think it's going to probably go up.
It's going to go up, man. It's going to go up exponentially.
Scary.
So I won't get into the quotes as far as how it's going to go up, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to go up exponentially. So if you're only saving in the 401k, it might not be the only thing you should be doing.
Yeah.
I would say even trying to find some tax-free strategies, right? And I know what one time we talked about is how to leverage life insurance or how to leverage even insurance. Now, with insurance, I hate to digress, but just talk about insurance for a moment real quick. Insurance is the only thing where you can actually trade pennies for dollars, right? My buddy Abel told me about that one the other day. So you're trading pennies for dollars in the sense meaning you can actually buy something that can help you build wealth for your family short term. Now, what I mean by that is, like, heaven forbid, I think you should put money away into the best strategies you have, right? I think you should put $50, $100, $200, $500, $100,000 away into strategies that are going to benefit you, tax benefits, right? But let's just say you only get a couple years of doing that, and you accrue a couple $1,000s of savings that's in the right direction. But then, heaven forbid, something happens to you or the breadwinner of the family.
Yeah.
Bam! What's going to happen is, unfortunately, you're not going to have enough money saved to cover your actual expenses.
Yeah, that's some scary stuff. A nephew of mine hit me up the other day. He mentioned, he has 3 boys, and we go a lot on Call of Duty. We stream Call of Duty games, and so we were talking, and he's like, he didn't know. I don't know if he knew my background or anything, but he was like, I want to get some of my kids for the future. Now, for like a kid that's maybe a year to 5 years old, somewhere preteen. Is that something that you would it be a good idea to maybe get some kind of insurance for the kids?
Absolutely, the sooner the better.
Yeah.
There's something that never goes on sale, which is life insurance, right? Life insurance does not go on sale. You get it when you're young and healthy versus older and sicker, right? Yeah. So if you're going to be getting or thinking about getting life insurance, get it now that you're healthy and in a point in your life where you can actually get it, right? Yeah. If it's a term insurance policy, a permanent insurance policy, whatever they're going to be, there's so many out there. That's why it's really good to know exactly what kind of insurances you have.
Yeah.
Now, I believe people were asking me actually a couple days ago, like, how are you busy? Is COVID affecting you? What's going on? I didn't realize how easy it was to use Zoom. Seriously, one, I'm never late to a meeting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Number 2, they're always there, right? And 3, they don't have to leave their house to come to my office and get the whole awkward thing. Like, hey, come to my office, get some coffee. How do you like what do you want? You want water, coffee, soda? But literally, they come to the office. They go to their kitchen, right? Sometimes it's weird. Like, are you in the bathroom or whatever it's going to be? But essentially, they log on, and I'm able to give them information, and they don't have to leave their house at all.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it, I can provide my screen, show them actual numbers and everything else, which is exciting because it makes it easier for them, it makes it easier for myself. And by the way, I'm pretty sure most professionals or anybody using Zoom today, it's just suit and tie on top, shorts and flip-flops.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah. So
it's going to be like the Anchorman on TV, right?
I haven't worn slacks in like, 4 months now? I don't know how long it's been going on, but I haven't worn slacks, which is awesome. But I hate to say that if you ever want to challenge that, like I'll do it next time. But
just don't stand up.
Just don't stand up. Don't ask me to stand up. Like, hey, can I see the back of that? No, thank you. Right? But I will say that it's been a different time, it's a different dynamic to be in business, and it creates this opportunity, especially if you're a business owner, right? If you create good habits, you're in a better place, right? Yeah. So there's 3 kinds of people walking into this COVID thing. That's what I'm learning so far, right? Person number 1 is gonna be the person that walks into COVID, or this whole, I would say, I would call it the long time vacation, right?
Yeah.
Right? There's 3 kinds of people. 1, they're gonna say, hey, this is exciting, I'm fired up, I'm able to stay at home with my kids, and they don't change anything. In fact, these are people that are very competitive, and they take their foot off the gas.
Mm.
They're going to take their foot off the gas. They're going to hang out. In fact, they might put on a couple pounds. They might just chill out. They're going to spend more time, which is great, right? Which is what we need to do with our families. In fact, when I was talking to my dad the other day, I'm like, hey, Dad, it's cool that we hang out.
Yeah.
I think my dog was thinking the same thing. Because he's wondering why I walk her 3 or 4 times a day now. Well, back in the day, it was like 1 or 2 days. But now my dog is like, whenever I leave now, my dog's getting anxiety because I'm not there.
Oh, no.
Which is so Andy's going nuts, right? And I'll post a picture of Andy later.
By the time you leave.
I'm definitely a dog dad.
Dad, you can go home. You can work out.
You can go work, right? So, and then person number 2 is be the person that actually gets worse, right? Someone that amplifies what they don't want to do, or they come in and they just gain more, they completely do nothing. They use this as an excuse for them to be an excuse, right? Which is a little different, right? And then the person number 3 is the person that's going to use this as an opportunity, and bro, they're going to get after it. They're going to self-develop. They're going to build some better habits. The difference between anybody that wants to start a business is someone that builds those habits to start a business, right? Which I'm excited because there's a lot of people out there putting content on the internet, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and I look at TikTok and there's like, I get stock tips, I look at Forex options, I see who to follow, but one of the best things I can tell you, if you educate yourself just a little bit, you know who to follow, who actually has the fruit, you want to study the roots, right? So the cool thing is nowadays people are developing 3 different ways. One, the person doing nothing, one, the person really doing nothing, and the person is trying to get after it. This is going to change the way people actually compete, right? So right now, instead of taking your foot off the gas, you put your foot even harder on the gas and actually hit the success button. So building good habits. Now, when I was thinking about how to build a habit, I was more in the sense of just, reading, developing, actually building some good habits. Like getting up early, working out, communicating with your friends. I remember at one point, I hate to continue rambling about this stuff, but I was trying to figure out what should I do today. And I'm like, okay, I can't talk to clients, they can't come to my office, I'm a little freaked out, what's going to happen? And you know something? I just started calling my friends.
There you go.
Hey, Bob. Hey,
Adam.
Adam.
What they're doing, right?
Hey, Adam. Because you go through the alphabetical order, you have like 10 Adams. You're like, hey, Adam, hey, Adam, hey, Adam. But everything's changing for them in their lives, right? And building this connection, which is important. I think one thing this COVID thing has done is built a lot of connections. I know a lot of turmoil is happening right now, but as far as that, I just want to stay focused on the positive today.
That's a good point, man. I know. So before the COVID happened, I ended up injuring my leg. I ended up rupturing my Achilles. So I was on lockdown way before COVID. So I was kind of used to it when it came in. But I started noticing the same thing. I mean, I was trying to find something to do while I'm at home. I can't drive. I couldn't really move much in the very beginning. So I noticed I started reaching out to friends, people I haven't spoke to for years, and I come in contact. I started talking to them and see where they're at, just catching up with them. I mean, you'd be surprised, the things that they've gone through, from the point that I last talked to them, and then also, like you said, I know in the beginning you were saying watch some videos, watch some inspirational videos,
Right.
And you were telling me from the very beginning when I got injured, and now it took me a while, but I'm there now, man. I'm trying to better myself, trying to keep positive, especially with this whole COVID and the times that are going on right now. And on civil unrest and everything, but it's one of those things you got to keep positive. Otherwise, if you start dwelling on the negatives, you're gonna be going downhill, man, fast.
Exactly.
It's scary, It's scary.
It's so easy for that to happen too.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Like you can literally be looking for things to slow you down, and you'll find them. In fact, the conversations you have with most people nowadays are typically when you watch the news or CNN, constant negative network, right? You see what's going on there, and they're always talking about something, and then you see those 2 sides of the story kind of strategies that they're putting out there. That's what I'm telling you. You have to educate yourself on what's out there and make those decisions the best way you can. You can't just jump on one idea, right? A lot of people are jumping on one idea and they stick with that one idea. If I'm going to say one thing about anything you do every day, is you have to have your own campaign. You have to have a campaign you're good at. This is a campaign you're preaching. If it's financial literacy, if it's health, if it's success, if it's how to do something the best you can. If you're great on Twitch and you like on being on Twitch, then be on Twitch. Be the best Twitcher you can be, right? If you like to make content, right? Provide value. If you like to just be the best at whatever you can be, right? It's not really crazy. And again, it's just really hanging out and connecting with people, at the same time making sure you're moving forward. Mind you can be lazy, right? I like to consider myself the most laziest at the person I know, right? Because as much as I was listening to this, actually came because a Joe Rogan podcast, right?
Oh, okay.
He was talking about being lazy. I'm like, dude, I could totally relate with that guy, right? And the fact of me just being not wanting to do something, but making yourself do something.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like every single day there's two things. There's two things always happening in your mind. It's like one is like, should I do it? 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 Ah, should I do it? Right? But it's so easy to just kind of get into a direction where you know that little voice in your head, you hear it, you're like, man, if I wake up early and go to the gym, it'll be better for me. However, this bed is way comfortable, right?
Yeah.
So just getting up and doing those things, making those decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times making those decisions are probably the best for you. Right?
Yeah.
So I like working hard. And not to digress, but today I was in Malibu. And I was helping my brother. My brother started a business, right?
Yeah.
Channel all his pressure washers. He's cleaning this beautiful home in Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you need some help. So we're working out there to see, like a $15 million house, and you're working on this house, you're like, my goodness. It just kind of puts stretch marks on your own vision. Make sense? So I was looking at this home and I'm like, man, dude, this is awesome. I'm thinking, just like it's the thing about like, how do people like, what do they do? The first thing I'm asking, what do they do? The person lives here, what did they do to acquire this, right? Yeah. And there's a couple things, right? There's generational wealth, like we call it old money, right? Right, old money. But then there's also new money, right? So I started thinking about ideas. How can someone move from A to B, right? And a lot of us want to do it relatively quickly, but everybody knows here on Instagram and YouTube and everything else that success is not easy. It's a grind, right? What you see at the end is what people don't see what you did. So if you can put yourself in a place where you can get on the grind and start building those habits, and at least start inching yourself forward, it's a beautiful thing.
There's now, how about for the people that, because I get this a lot, and I'm just one of them. I don't have enough money to put away. I mean, realistically, how much to start something? How hard is it to just put away something? I mean, how much money does it usually take?
It's a habit, man.
Yeah.
You gotta have it. It's like you gotta put yourself in a place where if I can save an extra $50 a month, and nowadays everybody is so simple. There's so many apps out there like Robinhood. I wouldn't recommend to go out there and start saving your money if you know how to buy or invest. But if you know how to even go to simple bank returns, if you don't want to deal with investments, you can actually go to a couple websites. You can DM me if you want. And it's going to show you the highest bank rates you can get. Okay, so it means you can still have your money in the bank, but earn the most you can inside of a bank, right? But by leveraging how competitive they can be, right? Number two, you can even go to like an Acorns account or something so simple where you can talk to another advisor that can help you get in touch with some of these funds. Most people, they're doing $5 a week, $10 a week, $50 a month, as much as you want, right? As long as you're saving it. Now, the way you save is two different things. You can save it for liquidity and growth. However, the money that grows, you gotta pay what's called capital gains. Or you can save it into a tax shelter retirement, which means you put money away, it compounds and grows for you, depending on how you set it up for taxes. You can take it out, either tax-free or tax-deferred later on. And it's so simple, and I'm telling you, everything's online. So if you need to fact check something, you can always go on Google, obviously a reputable source, or talk to an advisor, talk to a friend that actually knows this stuff, which is important.
Mr. Johnny Rivera. So Johnny, he's one of the guys I go Call of Duty with.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I met him through my nephew. My nephew was telling me about him. I have the 3 boys. So that's probably next week, buddy. Next week is we'll probably have the beer. I figure since we're talking money, we kind of stay away from the alcohol for now. But next week. But I mean, it was a scary thing for me coming into it, man. It was. I know my wife, her parents, they did well, and that's how they brought her up. Unfortunately, from my family, we didn't have anybody there to show us how to put money away and how to do. I didn't even learn it in school, honestly, and it's scary, man. Until once I started learning it, then I was like, man, how come I didn't know about this a long time ago? I wish I would have learned this in school. Something just simple. How to put money away, how to interest works. And it was a big something so simple really changed my life. And it was, again, my wife. We went into it, and that's when we met you, and then you taught us all this stuff. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning, so.
I think everybody still learns. Everybody's learning everything every single day. Especially now that you have more time, you can eventually learn more, educate yourself more. But again, just learn the right things. Be fundamental about it.
Yeah.
I think right now, just for a couple things, something that's really helped me was just reach out and talk to somebody, right? I know Fernando and I were talking the other day. He's like, hey, how can we just go live and just talk about some of the questions we have? I know we kind of went everywhere today. A little bit about myself. I'm very random when it comes to thoughts and ideas. I always have something I want to act on or do. There's something that if I have an excitement for something, I investigate it. Like the other day, I'm like, how long will it take me to learn the guitar, right?
Oh yeah.
So I started just picking up the guitar, and I'm like, how can I start studying guitar tabs and notes and strings? And I started going on Google. I'm like, okay, and it was there.
Yeah.
And then guess what? There's an app for that, right? So I found an app, and I started talking about it. Now I'm like playing my guitar and getting better on that, but I'm finding time to do it every single day. And it's interesting, man, because the habits you have, the habits you build are based on what you want. And for me, it's just randomness, but it's always good. It's kind of like my good friends that know me, if they're watching this right now, when they're talking to me, they say, man, you have Joe Mints, right?
Joe Mints.
They're like, Joe Moments. Joe Moments. And they ask me what I'm thinking about, and I give them a random answer. They're like, how the heck does that happen, right? But it's up there somehow, right? I think I'm really blessed because of it. But I say things, and one thing I think a lot of people should know. I remember I heard this from my buddy Abel a while ago, because I was always trying to be that financial guy. Like, I need to learn everything. I need to do everything. I need to figure everything out. I need to read the Bible paper that comes on an investment strategy. But he taught me this one thing that really stuck with me. He's like, take what you do seriously, just don't take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
And that kind of like alleviated a lot of the pressure and the anxiety I think most people have when they try to learn something. It's just be the best you can be. Take a very civil, direct, affirmative action towards it. However, just be yourself.
Yeah.
And be fun about it. So I think social media is one of those platforms where you can start helping people and getting them across the line and everything else. But again, we were talking about insurance, and now we're here, so which is okay. Right?
Yeah, I mean it's just one of those things, man. Like with some of the videos I was watching, one from Denzel Washington. It's on my feed if you guys ever get a chance to see it. And the video that kind of stuck with me, he said, which is kind of weird. He says if you haven't failed, you haven't worked hard enough. Something to that effect. I know I'm not quoting him correctly, but that's true. I mean, if you talk to a lot of these entrepreneurs, people of success, they're either actors or whatever. Sometimes you don't really look at them as thinking, oh, they've failed, or you think, oh, they got lucky and they made it, right? But no, man, all these guys, they've had numerous failures, but they're still there. And it's about, getting up and still moving forward. And that really kind of struck me. And same thing with what you mentioned about taking yourself seriously. It's one of the things you really got to have a thick skin and not do it. Otherwise, if you keep dwelling on it, you probably won't move forward, I guess, right? And have that failure, right? But and I know coming into it, I was nervous. And like, this is our first live feed, and I was nervous as hell, just thinking, oh my God, I'll be in front of the camera. I'm not even thinking about the people. I'm just thinking I'm going to be in front of the camera. And the first thing I can think of is, what are people going to think about me? But it's one of those things you just can't. You just gotta, like Arnold Schwarzenegger says, ignore the naysayers. Yeah. Get to the job. Oh yeah. But it's cool, man, and I know we've talked about this in the past. About something, do something like this, and I think it was just about taking that first step.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How you feel now?
I feel great, man. I feel great. I think it's an important thing to talk about, especially when you have two dudes, sitting here enjoying a cup of coffee in front of our friends. It's just a matter of just having a conversation. It's not the same old conversation.
Yeah.
But again, putting something on a platform that we can all kind of either get value from or just get value from. So if anything, it's just a matter of finding that niche you're good at, or just feeling comfortable about it. And and vibing out right now, which is good.
Yeah. The coffee's kind of hitting. I'm already getting a little intake of the caffeine.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, it's exciting. What do you have planned for the future, man? I mean, do you have like 5-year plan or something?
Oh yeah. I believe everybody should have a plan, or at least something in your mind. And if you have I was talking about this the other day as well. In fact, we actually have an office in Camarillo, and a few of the partners run it there. It's just a wonderful office because everybody works together and everybody plays to their strengths. Right? I remember when I was younger, starting this industry. Mind you, I've been in the insurance industry for about 13, 14 years, which is time flies. Time flies, and I realize that time flies real quickly. And people say, know your strengths, focus on your weaknesses. Oh heck no, right? Know your weaknesses and focus on your strengths. Find the people that are good at what you're weak at and align yourself with them.
Yeah.
You know what happens? You just kind of come up together, which is exciting because most people tend to focus on their weaknesses. Like, oh, well, I'm not good at it. I'm going to focus on that. Well, there's a reason why you're not good at that. It's going to take a long time to get better, and over time you will get better. But if you want some results quickly, find yourself with some good people.
Yeah.
That's why teamwork's so important. I wouldn't be anywhere if I didn't have a team. A team of people that wanted to actually work and be successful and have the same goal, because then we all just drive each other.
Yeah.
So, and it's taking that affirmative action, finding those right people. So, but essentially, just really feeling good about who you are and where you're at and what you're doing. And before anything else, I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs, right? A lot of entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs, I believe Lee Iacocca said it best. He said, know what people want and know before they need something, or know what people need before they know they want it, right?
Okay.
So think about that. Success leaves clues, right?
Yeah.
Right now, there's for all my parents and our friends and our families that are baby boomers, there's a couple people turning 65, turning 65 every day for many, many years. They all need a couple things, right? So if you can put yourself in their shoes, what do they need? And how can you put yourself in front of them and offer a service, an idea, a concept that's going to help them move forward?
True.
Which is crazy. And if you can put that in front of the right people, or even the same generation you're in, if you know something people need, might as well just get in front of it, get good at it, and start helping people with it.
That's a good idea, man.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
People do need a lot of help out there, man. And they don't realize that there is people you can go to, like yourself, that they can get this help from.
Right.
And we were fortunate we found you, and my wife found you actually, and we're fortunate that you were able to be there to help us and put us in a better situation. Man. Yeah. And we're grateful for that. That's awesome. Yeah. I know I'm going to probably be changing the subject on this one now. As far as the COVID lockdown, did you walk away with any battle wounds or, I don't know, being at home all day?
Yeah, man, of course. So, you're at home all day, a couple of things happen, right? You have choices to make. Decisions to make. I think the first blast of information that affected me was watching the news, right? And then seeing everything that was coming at you, like everything on any social platform, which is BAM! You're gonna die. You're gonna die. It's gonna get you. It makes you blue. It turns you green. The symptoms, and you guys start doing what's going on here, right? So
I have a sore throat.
Yeah, sore throat. What's gonna fix it? What's gonna fix it? Whiskey. Yeah. Oh no, that didn't fix it. But it felt awesome, right?
Oh.
But yeah, not to digress on that. But either or, man, it's just that whole getting your mind stronger. Yeah. That's most important. Getting your mind strong, and putting yourself in a place where you can either ride the wave, right, or let it just crash you out, right? Yeah. So it's just definitely it's a couple things. One was the information overload in the feed, and then 2 was how I took it, right? And then 3 was, okay, how can I overcome not meeting my clients and not meeting people and staying in business, staying afloat? Those things happen, right? You start thinking, like, what am I going to do? It's crazy. I'm in a position where how am I going to make money? What am I going to do? And you start realizing, dude, people never want to come to your office anyways.
True.
Right? It's like you got the family, hey, come to the office, and they get ready, they change, they stop and get a cup of coffee, they go to your office, and obviously they get fired up after you're done talking to them, but what if those few things would have happened? What if traffic was a little tougher that day? You would never met with them. Yeah. What if they needed the insurance now versus later? What if there's something that happened in their life that they caused them not to get insured? Yeah. In fact, it's just interesting. So when you alleviate some of those things and those thoughts and those pressures and find an action or direction, man, Fernando, it's so much better and easier because you just kind of alleviate everything. Yeah. And then obviously being solution oriented versus problem oriented, right? So I know there's a lot of people that start changing the way they do business either by one, getting on Facebook, getting on Instagram. Yeah. 2, just figuring out Zoom. I was old. I think as long as I've been in the business, I kind of adopted old habits. Yeah. But yeah, I talked a lot about what I feel and what I believe. I know you had a lot of questions, but man, it's just I believe the time just to get to know each other. We'll have more of these and more sessions, so we'll get to definitely chat some more. Yeah,
definitely. I know for me, the being cooped up, I was cooped up way before COVID.
Yeah.
And, you know, the weight gain, the refrigerator's right there,
Yeah.
the beer's right there. And made it so much easier just to go in there and have some food,
Yeah.
gain some weight.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the hair, I know my hair, I think I went, about well over a month without a haircut. Well over a month. So I was like a freaking hippie, man.
Yeah.
So luckily, my wife, she used to cut my hair way back when. And this time I hit her up. I said, hey, can you remember how to cut my hair?
Yeah.
She said, yeah. So she cut it. It came out awesome. And so, of course, that was about 2-3 weeks ago. And I was like, I need another haircut. And yesterday, I go, hey, Rosie, can you cut my hair? So there's really just, so before I continue on, I'm strategically seated this way at this angle. So, for one reason, yesterday she was cutting my hair. And then she took all the clips off. She was using the buzzer without the clips to do the trimming. And she goes, you know what? I'm going to touch base on your fade. And she's going. And she's like,
fade, no.
Oh, I'm like, what? She goes, I forgot to put the clip on. So, you kind of see a little bit of yeah. So
I thought for a minute you guys owned a cat.
No, I was.
You got in a fight with it.
She's like, let me fix it. I'm like, just let it be. No, I can fix it. Just let it be. Because my worst fear was she would eat at it and be like, oh, I need a little more. Oh, I need a little. Eventually, you're just bald, right? So.
Oh my god. Rosie, you make comedy happen.
I was like, just let it be. I'm fine. It'll grow.
Oh man.
So that with some weight gain, but I'm trying to lose weight now. I have to, especially with my freaking ankle all jacked up. But no, man, that was COVID was a thing, man. It's still going, and it's something we're gonna be learn how to live with, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's gonna change the crap how we do everything.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think we might have gone a little over time. I don't think we were gonna go that far, but
no.
So we do want to plan on having we're going to plan on having a few more fees. This one we kept it simple with what we knew, which is why we stuck with the financial information. But Johnny, I know I told you we were going to have a glass of beer, but then things happened last minute, and we were like, you know what, we'll not for this one, because I am a beer lover. I'm a beer snob, self-proclaimed beer snob. I don't know about beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of do this when we see Bud Light.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I do have to have a pinky up.
Yeah.
But but it was fun, man. It was exciting and scary at the same time. And but I noticed, I don't know if it was for you. I know for me, as we were talking, it seemed to be a little easier.
Yeah. I
started not really focusing in the beginning of what I say now. It's just kind of a little easier. So
just run with it now.
We'll run with it, yeah.
That's cool.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Check out our Team Paramount face page on my both mine and Joe's Facebook. We're gonna be one on Instagram as well. So thank you for joining us. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Pleasure.
Later.
Have a great night. Stay safe.